I call this meeting of Alvin Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. First thing we will do the invocation and the pledges. And tonight, the pledges will be led by Carly Dorston. She is the president of the Manville Junior High Student Council. Carly also plays volleyball and runs track. She's also a member of the National Junior Honor Society. So if you would please stand, and we'll have Trustee Garza do the invocation and then have Carly come up and do the pledges.
All right. It was a tough week for Alvin ISD. I think I wanted to address that real quick with the passing of two respected and passionate leaders, Ms. Laura Peterson and Ms. Laura Datesman. Before I get into this evening's prayer, I just want to take a moment of silence to give them respect that they deserve, and then I'll get into tonight's prayer. Please bow your heads. Lord, tonight we pray for two families, two schools, and the Alvin ISD community. We pray for those whose hearts are filled with sadness and grief. Give us strength and will to bear our heavy burdens and bring us peace as we mourn. Be mindful of us and have mercy on us while we struggle to comprehend life's hardships. As we begin today's meeting, we ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support. Help us engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of our community. As trusted servants, help us be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all the Alvin ISD community. Continue to remind us that all we do and all that we accomplish is for your glory. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Carly, you want to introduce yourself to us?
Nope. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
Good job.
Excellent. All right. Next, we have the superintendent's report. Carol?
Board, we're very excited to announce our Principals of the Year, and these are voted on by their peers. And so this year's Elementary Principal of the Year is Miss Monique Gadsden. Monique was named Elementary Principal of the Year, and our Secondary Principal of the Year is Fairview Junior High's Miss Dale Tribble. And so these two ladies will now go on to Region 4 to represent Alvin ISD. I know Monique's here tonight. Is Dale here by chance? No? Monique, stand up so everybody can see. Congratulations. We're very excited. Good luck. We hope you go on to state to represent us as well. So congratulations to both of you. We had Rodeo Art Open House on January the 19th. Over 750 visitors strolled through the Alvin ISD Liberty Alumni Hall to look at the 540 pieces of Western-themed art representing every campus in Alvin ISD. Liberty Alumni Hall was full of art, music, and food as parents, students, and staff members were amazed by the artwork of our talented students. And I will say that we have some outstanding art teachers across the district who mentor and teach our students, and it's just amazing the artwork that was on display out there and continues to be displayed, some of them at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We also hosted Elementary UIL on Friday, January the 26th, and Saturday, January the 27th. Alvin ISD hosted our District Elementary UIL, Academic UIL meet at Manville High School. Approximately 675 students competed in events of oral reading, storytelling, Spanish storytelling, chess, number sense, creative writing, ready writing. And so many students excelled and won different awards. So congratulations to all of our elementary students who participated. We had National Signing Day on February the 7th. Congratulations to our 31 student athletes who all committed to furthering their education while playing a collegiate sport. And these were just some of the students. We've had some that have signed previously, and we will continue to have some that sign. But congratulations to all of our student athletes. Our students are 100 days smarter, and Alvin ISD celebrated 100th day on February the 1st with celebrations across the district. From tiny centenarians roaming the halls to a 100-day parade, students and staff reflected on the amazing progress made during the first 100 days of the school year. Our CTE JBH hosted a career extravaganza on February the 3rd at the J.B. Hensler College and Career Academy. It was filled with eager students and families exploring Alvin ISD's career and technical education offerings during their annual extravaganza. And finally, this past weekend, the Alvin ISD Education Foundation hosted its annual Fun Run and Turtle Race on February the 10th, and we were so thankful that it did not rain that day. It was nice and cool, a bit windy, but it was beautiful weather. We had a large crowd that came out. There were 747 fun runners, 13,079 turtles adopted, and over $140,000 raised. All these proceeds from the turtle race benefit students and teachers in Alvin ISD through innovative teaching grants, campus grants, scholarships for students, teachers, and paraprofessionals. So congratulations and thank you to the Education Foundation. This is a foundation that's made up mostly of volunteers who give of their time and reap the benefits, and you can see that the turtles being dropped in the bayou. So congratulations.
It gets better and better every year.
Yes, it does.
Next, we have our commendations.
Ms. Rives?
Good evening, board. Good evening, guests. We are very glad that you're here with us tonight. We are going to be commending some students and staff members. Parents, if you want to get pictures when your students are up here, please come up, take them. This is about them at this time. So please feel free to do that. So we're going to start with Alvin ISD has 14 students from their high school music programs who have been chosen for the 2024 Texas Music Educators Association All-State Band and Choir. So high school students selected for this honor have competed through multiple auditions to qualify at the state level. All-State is the highest honor a Texas music student can receive. The competition, sponsored by Texas Music Educators Association, is a competitive process that begins throughout the state in auditions hosted by various TMEA regions. Individual musicians performed selected music for the panel of judges who rank each instrument or vocal part. From this ranking, a select group of musicians advanced for their region to compete against musicians from other areas in TMEA's competition areas. The highest ranking musicians judged at the TMEA area competitions qualify for all state music groups. So these musicians participated in the TMEA convention in San Antonio this past weekend. So y'all are probably pretty tired. But we're going to honor you today. So for the All-State Choir, when I call your name, please come up. For Alvin High School Choir is Genevieve Hernandez. Alvin High School Choir also is Ella Flores. And they are under the direction of Levi Duncan.
Were both of you girls recently in the musical? I know Ella was. Were you in the musical? Oh, no. Yes, you had a leading part there. Very talented. Congratulations to both of you ladies.
And if y'all will stay up here, we're actually going to add the high schools as we go, okay? So we can get one big group photo. Okay, Manville High School Choir, Jordan Ballester is... And also Manville High School Choir is Jarrell Anderson Jr. They're under the direction of Blythe Hobsons, but she could not be here tonight, correct? Yes. Okay, and next we have Shadow Creek High School Choir. We have Zoe Kong. Cadence Pate. Alan Quinn II. Connor Stevener. Nick Vollman. And James Williams. And they are under the direction of Jennifer Gallagher. So if the directors would come up as well, and we'll get one big photo.
Were any of you in the musicals? Any of the other students? Yes. Awesome. Congratulations. Very talented.
Do you need them to step up
Oh,
on the
yeah, if anyone needs to step up.
Phil? Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, the
Step if you
band.
want to.
ledge, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do them separate, yeah. Yeah,
Are they going to sing? No.
yes.
Y'all just sing as you're taking
Sing.
pictures. Somebody
What do
start and
y'all all
everybody
know?
follow in.
Start, yeah, somebody start.
Start, AJ.
Ella, can you start for us, sing something? No.
And if y'all will stay up here, because I think he
Yeah.
wanted a picture with the band as well, group. So for band, we have Alvin High School Band is Aiden Geisen. And she is under the direction of Jeremy Kitchens. If you would like. And then Shadow Creek Band is Gabriel Lawrence. Joseph Bagley. Riley Ham. Mr. Kitchens and Miss Gallagher, will y'all come back up to get pictures? And anybody else that's here? Josh Mooney.
Josh Mooney.
Yes.
There's Mr.
Oh, I did not
Mooney.
mention you, Mr. Mooney. I am so sorry. Yes, the Shadow Creek Band is under the direction of Mr. Josh Mooney.
Everyone knows Mr. Mooney.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Great job.
And Ms. Rives, just like I said about the art teachers, without our band and choir teachers, I mean, our programs are very, very successful. They're great mentors, great experts in their areas as well. So thank you to our fine arts teachers, our band, our choir, all of you. Thank you, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you very much. And now our staff commendations. So Harvey Junior High was one of an elite group from across the state to win the Crest Award for Counseling Excellence in 23-24. Counselors Lauren Johns and Liliana Moreno accepted the award on behalf of the school at the February TSCA conference. So CREST is a continuous improvement document that gives a school counseling program an opportunity to demonstrate effective communication and a commitment to obtaining results. CREST helps counselors to evaluate their counseling programs, promote their programs to the stakeholders in their districts, and demonstrate the effectiveness of their guidance and counseling programs through empirical means, and to implement the Texas and national models for school counseling programs. So congratulations to Harvey Junior High counselors Lauren Johns and Liliana Moreno.
Thank you both.
Great job.
I'll just say last week when we did have the crisis at both campuses, the loss of our loving staff members, these ladies, as well as several other counselors across the district, came together to help support the staffs on both campuses. So thank you for all that you do for our staff and students.
Now, we're at a point here that if you students have homework and you want to leave, it'll be a good time. We'll wait on y'all.
Left the room.
Thank y'all for coming tonight. Congratulations to y'all also.
Congrats. Thank
you
you.
for coming.
Congrats.
Thank you. Bye.
And if you want, y'all in the back can move up to the front.
It's my mom. Yeah, my sister.
What, is your sister here too? Which one? Right
The one next to her. Uh-huh.
Or did they just come to see you?
I think they
Valentine's?
maybe have nothing else to do. Football season's over.
Oh, there you go.
All right, now we'll move into, we have a presentation tonight. Carol?
Yes, this evening we have Dr. Jennifer Valdez, and her team will be presenting Dr. Shandar Hobbs and Ms. Fulvia Shaw, and they will provide us with the district's mid-year academic review. This review analyzes if the district's on track to meet our 23-24 performance objectives by the end of the school year. Dr. Valdez?
Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to share our mid-year review with you this evening. I think you're going to see, or maybe you've already seen, because I know you received the full document, I think Friday, all 200 and something pages, which I'm sure you've read all of it already. But this is a very favorable mid-year review for our school district, so I'm excited to announce that. Within the mid-year review for the district, we're just doing a summary tonight, so it won't be all of those 200 and whatever pages, and it's only a summary of the district, not of the individual campus reviews. And so in this review, we did analyze or assess, is a better way to say, our 4 district performance objectives. These are the objectives that were approved by the board back in November. I'm going to share the Performance Objective 1 information with you, and then we'll have our awesome curriculum leaders, Dr. Hobbs and Ms. Shaw, come up and share the assessments of Performance Objectives 2 through 4. I do want to say that in this mid-year review, really what we're looking at is we're seeing, are we on target at this time of the year to be able to meet these performance objectives by the end of the school year? And it's a pretty simple process we go through. Well, principals probably are going to say simple is not the word, Jennifer, but it's a process we go through to basically say yes or no. Not maybe, kinda, could be, but yes or no, we are, we aren't. And how do we know that? Because we have data to either support that we are or we aren't. But the relevancy or purpose of this mid-year review is really to determine if the instructional practices and resources and trainings that we're providing if they're making a difference at this point in the year. If they're not, we know that we still have time to make some shifts by the end of the year. It allows the district to best support our campuses through the end of the school year, and it also allows school administrators and teachers to be able to best support our students by looking very closely at their data. The process we go through is we look through all of our basically student management systems, PEIMS, Aware, OnPoint for the data that we have at mid-year. We compare it to last year at this time to be able to see from last year to this year, are we making growth, and then are we on track for the end of the year? When we're not, we have strategic plans that are developed within the mid-year review to help us to get to that point. The data points for the district review that we're looking at are our attendance rates by 6 weeks, our curriculum-based assessment, semester exams, and our CCMR, College Career Military Readiness Tracking Tool. So for performance objective 1, this focuses on attendance. It reads that the district will increase the average daily attendance by 0.5% from the previous year. And at this point, yes, we are on track to meet that. How do we know? So here's just a kind of a simple summary chart to show you comparisons, what shows you the whole first semester, the first 18 weeks, and then from the last 2 years to where we are now. If you look at that small bottom chart, you see that our yearly average daily attendance right now is about a full percentage point above where it should be. So all indicators show right now we're on track to meet this performance objective. So how are we doing that? We have some new initiatives this year that we've developed in order to really put a hyper focus on attendance. One of the big ones is we formed a district attendance committee. It's led by Mr. Shaw, but it also has other district leaders on the committee, campus leaders, attendance clerks, campus administrators. And within those meetings, I believe they meet about every 6 weeks, about every time we have a report. And they come together, they review the data, they discuss the best practices, they're able to share across campuses. You know, how are you making improvements? How are we making improvements? What can we do different on our campus? And so far, some really good things have come out of those meetings to be able to show the increase that we have right now. We also, our communication department has really helped us with a campaign to show the importance of school to our parents. You know, if we go back to that kind of COVID time period, I know nobody likes to go back to that, but we really lost a lot of students with that drive for coming to school every day. And so we're also trying to appeal to parents why it's so important. There's so much research behind kids being in school, kids doing well in school based off of being there. And then that campaign is happening through our e-news, social media, and parent university curriculum. So really any and every platform we can think of to try to get information out to parents. And so through these things, we have seen significant improvement on the attendance rate during this first semester. I will tell you that the second semester every year tends to be a little bit lower on attendance than the first semester. We're hoping that doesn't happen this time, but we do know that we have good procedures and processes in place, and we're looking at it every 6 weeks. So if we see a dip, we can continue to adjust and monitor and adjust. So we'll continue to search out creative things to do to make sure we keep improving that rate. So very excited about that one. Our second performance objective, Dr. Hobbs will go through with you.
Good evening. For performance objective number 2, the district will meet or exceed the board-approved House Bill 3 early literacy, math, and CCMR goals for all students. And once again, we are proud to say that we are on track to meet the goals in each of these areas. And so we're going to spend just a moment talking about how we are working to meet those goals. So when we look at literacy, it looks at grade 3. We are looking at STAR performance. We are at this point looking at the comparison of curriculum-based assessments last year against this year. I do want to tell you that there are 4 indicators when we look at STAR, and when they look at passing versus not passing, that comes into the approaches category. But because approaches means we're approaching grade level, we don't look at that as a district. We set our expectations higher, and so we put our focus on the meets category. So you can see in meets and masters for 3rd grade reading, we are showing an improvement from last year to this year at this time. And so some of the things that we can attribute to that performance is in 2019, the state of Texas implemented House Bill 3 reading academies, and that was that every kindergarten through 3rd grade teacher and administrator had to attend a 60-hour academy. At that time, it was all online. It has now moved to a face-to-face academy. And so we have taken so much of that learning that we have done through that process and made curriculum adjustments, made adjustments in teaching strategies and instructional practices. And we're starting to see the growth in our students based on much of that work. And our teachers are taking on that learning. We have also had a very large focus on small group instruction. Over the last 3 years, we know that the best instructional practice for our students is differentiated instruction for them, and that happens during that small group instruction. And so by focusing the district on that, whenever we visit classrooms and visit campuses, we give lots of feedback on how to improve small group instruction. We have lots of training for our teachers on small group instruction, and bringing all of our data back to what do we need to do to support our students and be responsive to them. And you can see that through small group instruction. With the implementation of STAR 2.0, writing has become a part of science, social studies, and the reading language arts STAR test. And so we have also put a focus on authentic writing in our core subjects. As we know, as a historian and a scientist, writing is part of their everyday life, just as reading is. And we want to make that an authentic part of what's happening in those core classrooms. And by that, coming into the classroom, we took it one step further. Something we're very proud of in Alvin ISD is we've done what's called calibration of our writing samples. So multiple times a year, our teachers all have their students write to a prompt, but it's a common writing activity that they do, and we bring it together as a district and we look at those samples and we talk about what we need to do differently with instruction. What do we need to do differently to help support our students? And so that has made a tremendous difference, we believe, in the growth of our students as well. And then for the last 7 years, we've had a district summer reading initiative. And so we've been really grateful for the community support in helping us push that out. We are sticking with the theme of read, write, repeat. We just really feel that it's not just as important just to read, but to also write about what you're reading and make that a part of our summer to keep our students motivated. And that comes with some incentives in the fall, and we continue to see more students participate in that every year. As you can see, our 3rd grade math has made significant increases as well in their scores from last year to this year, and some things that we attribute to that, the strategies that we feel like are helping with that. Once again, curriculum revisions. Every time we have an assessment in the district, we are able to go through and analyze where our students are struggling, where our teachers might need some additional support. And you can see that in the what we call responsiveness. As soon as we see that there's an area of need, we can make those curriculum adjustments immediately. It's the beauty of having a district written curriculum and the fact that we can be responsive. We can find new strategies. We can find new materials to help support our teachers. And then especially with the implementation of instructional coaches, which thankfully you guys have been such a proponent of. You've helped us support that through budget and all of those things. That training that comes from the curriculum revisions and getting that down to our teachers has been critically important. We've also been able to do our what we call curriculum previews, and having our teachers on our professional learning days be able to get that in-depth face-to-face training in order to implement those revisions within the curriculum. For elementary, we use a program called Imagine Learning. Within Imagine Learning, you have Imagine Language and Literacy and Imagine Math, and we've set expectations across the district for how much time students should spend on these programs. Historically, our students who have completed their grade level for Imagine, whether it was Imagine Language or Literacy or Imagine Math, have either been at the meets or master's level for STAR, and so we feel like, again, monitoring our usage of Imagine Math has helped with that increase in our student performance at grade 3. And then as a curriculum department, with our instructional coaches, with our curriculum coordinators and our principals, we do targeted visits on campus where we look at the strategies and the implementation of our curriculum in the classrooms for 2 reasons. It helps us to come back and make adjustments to the curriculum where things are not working, but also helps us give specific feedback to campuses so that they know what they need to do moving forward. And so we do believe that that has also attributed to the success in our 3rd grade scores. And then once again, just our instructional coaches and how incredible they are. We know that the research is very clear that having an instructional coach on campus, providing professional learning on a daily basis with teachers is really what moves the needle. And so again, that support of those instructional coaches are making a huge difference with our teachers and students. The last part of it is our CCMR. And just a reminder, CCMR is a lagging indicator. So when we're looking at our scores, we're looking at our students who have already graduated. So we can't affect the ones who have already graduated, but put things in place to move us forward. Our goal is 70%. And by the data that has been collected right now, you can see we are on track to exceed that goal this year. Some of those strategies that would help us with that truly is our monitoring systems that have been put into place through pulling data and looking at CCMR, just like we look at our curriculum-based assessments and things like that, have helped us. They've also had campus monthly meetings that help them really reflect on the practices that have been put into place and let us know if we need to make some adjustments. As you can see, a couple of, I think last month, CTE presented with their monitoring piece that's in place that adds to our CCMR goal. And then also monitoring AP scores. So all of that plays a part in CCMR. So the monitoring of those systems has helped us really track to see that we're making improvements there as well. And then I'm going to go to performance objective 4. We're not going to go in order. Ms. Shaw will be up to do that one, but I oversee literacy. So performance objective 4 is district will increase the percentage of students that show growth on reading language arts STAR assessment compared to the previous year. And so I'm happy to tell you that yes, we are on track to meet that as well. But I did want to tell you the difference with this one is we're looking at growth. And when we're looking at growth, we're looking at a cohort of students from 1 year of STAR testing to the next year of STAR testing that they either maintain their level of performance or increase that. So we look at cohorts of students that start in 4th grade because they have to have a 3rd grade STAR assessment to 4th grade. So as you can see, we continue to make continuous improvement in growth of our students, that they are either maintaining that level or they're increasing that level. The only difference is that it's we can't compare 8th grade to EOC, which is 9th grade, EOC 1, 9th grade. But when we did compare their scores from last year to this year to make sure that we are continually seeing that growth. And I want to tell you that the EOC 1 and EOC 2 is only looking at writing data. That's where we put our focus. But how did we get here and how do we continue to make growth? Again, back to the calibration. During our district professional learning days, our teachers have collected student samples. They've come together. We've graded those samples together. We've calibrated on state rubrics. Just as a reminder, the writing piece of the reading STAR test has changed in the last 2 years. And so all students 3 through EOC 2 are required to write a longer piece on their STAR test, which in the past was just fourth and seventh grade. And so with that change has to become, we have to calibrate, we have to understand what the rubrics mean. And so we've calibrated and make sure we have a district understanding of the rubrics and that we're setting the same high expectations for the writing samples and that we're grading them the same. And we do believe that bringing those calibration days, having that time together to work through those attributes to our success. We also have a way of teaching grammar and mechanics called Patterns of Power. We've had it in elementary for quite a few years, and junior high implemented it last year, and we're happy to say that high school implementation is coming. The beauty of this is that the systems that are in place on the way that the mechanics is taught is that students are seeing the same language and the same practices from early in their elementary career, and now it'll go all the way through high school. And so we do believe that we'll continue to see a lot of success in our students because of the commonality in that practice. Once again, curriculum revisions and just being responsive to the needs of our students based on the assessments that they take, we know makes a big difference. We were able to see in our data this year, any place where we had gone back last year and made significant curriculum revisions, our students outperformed by a significant amount this year than they did over last year. So we'll continue that practice. And then once again, our feedback cycles. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we visit campuses, a campus, with a plan to be back in 4 to 6 weeks to say, these are the things that you're doing well, keep doing those, here's some feedback, and here's something that they're gonna work on. So when we see them the next visit, we start with what they were working on, we take targeted visits on that, and then provide some additional feedback. Okay. Commissioner Shaw? Do you have a question?
Real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know is one person going to answer all the questions or should I ask?
Go for it.
Okay, just real quick,
Yeah.
2, maybe 3, I don't know. Depending on how you answer. Sorry, I'm that guy. Can you explain again, I understood the approaches segment of our students. Why do we leave that out or what's going on with that group?
So it's do not meets, approaches, and then meets and masters. And so we talk about approaches, they're saying they're approaching grade level. And so we really want to focus on students. We want all of our students to be at grade level. And so that's that meets category. And so you'll see a large number of our students are approaches in all subjects, all core areas. But our focus is getting them through approaches to meets, because meets means next year you're going to be successful because you've met grade level expectations of 4th grade. So now when I go to 5th grade, I'm prepared to be a 5th grader.
Perfect, great.
The state does recognize approaches as passing.
Right, understood. Okay, got it. Thank you.
But for that domain 3, not to get too deep, which is federal, right? They don't.
I just want to make sure we're not
So yeah.
leaving those kids. I know we're not leaving
Right.
those kids out, but
The
I mean, we're
state-
trying to push them along.
That's it.
Yep,
We're trying to
got
get
it.
them to meet.
The
Yeah.
state measures different than the federal.
Correct,
So-
correct. And then I guess this is related to House Bill 3 and the Reading Language Arts Performance Objective 4. Do we see that maybe the READY program is preparing these kids a little bit better as they enter school with their reading and comprehension? Is that helping any, or can we not tell yet?
Yeah, we've been tracking that, but it's definitely something to look into. I mean, of course.
That's
kids-
tremendous growth from
Absolutely.
those 3rd graders. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if they're coming in and participating in that program, if that's.
We'll say, I think it's a combination of all of that, because a lot of our students who are in the READY program didn't go to pre-K, and now we have had the full-day pre-K is in effect, and we've had that for a couple years as well. So there's a lot of factors that have played into that. I would agree with you on that
Thank
one.
you.
It's funny because Dr. Valdez and I were talking about that the other day. Anytime we can get print-rich environments for our students or literacy or anything in the hands of kids before they get to school helps. But we were talking about the growth we're seeing, and we really think it's the professional development in our instructional coaches that are making a huge difference. And then the reading academies, like Dr. Hobbs said, that's where we're seeing the growth, is from all the teacher training, we think is really what's pushing that needle for us.
Great, thank you.
So I am going to be focusing on Performance Objective 3. Dr. Hobbs was focused on reading when it comes to growth. However, when it comes to math, we're going to be focusing on meets or above performance. So performance objective 3 reads, the district will increase the percentage of students scoring at the meets or above performance level on the Math Star assessment compared to the previous year. So then the question is, are we on track to meet this by the end of the school year? And based on our data, we're still on track. And now I'm going to share with you our district plan of what we're going to do to be able to stay on target. Performance objective 3, we're going to start by looking at our elementary data. As you can see, we are comparing in this chart common-based assessment from last year to this year. And in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, you will see significant gains, with the exception of our 5th grade advanced placement class that had a slight decrease. So again, how we're going to get to our target. One of the things I'm excited about when it comes to instructional strategies for math goals that we're targeting, this is the bulk of what we do in our curriculum department. And we couldn't do this work without our amazing curriculum coordinators that work with our instructional coaches. So in elementary, we're going to start with focusing on our priority standards, and we're going to be identifying priority standards at each grade level. And our instructional coaches will also analyze student misconceptions. In working with the instructional coaches, we will be creating mini professional learning sessions that will be created by instructional coaches to share with their teachers on campus. We will also have reteach resources available that will address high priority standards by providing additional reteach resources for teachers that they can use in their small group instruction, and they can also use in their spiral review or warm-ups. And what we mean by spiral review or warm-ups is these are additional opportunities that students will have once the teachers have already taught the lessons. These are skills that teachers can go back and revisit. We are also going to have learning walks. Based on the data, we have identified high priority campuses that need additional support. And through additional learning walks and feedback, we will provide additional support. Who is part of these learning walks? We have curriculum coordinators, curriculum directors, principals, and instructional coaches. And now let's take a look at this table that shows the secondary math. In looking at our secondary math table, you will notice that we are comparing semester exams. We're comparing the semester exam from last year to this year. In looking at grade 7th, grade 8th, and Algebra 1, we do have significant gains, with the exception of grade 6, which remained the same.
That's big growth in 7th grade.
Yes. Okay, and how we're going to, here are the instructional strategies to achieve our junior high goals. So you will see an alignment between the work that's being done in elementary and junior high. And again, here we're going to review student work to determine what are those students' misconceptions for each of those high priority standards. We're going to develop mini trainings to address those specific student misconceptions. And last, we're also going to have additional trainings and provide resources to address high priority standards. Some of the action plans for each of these priority standards include full day re-instruction, small group ideas, mini lessons, warm-ups, iReady Connections, and this is a third-party software platform that we use at the junior high to provide additional support in the classroom. We're also going to use the Texas Formative Assessment Resource, which is also known as TFAR assessment items, and this also has a lot of bank items that are very similar and are formatted the same as the STAR assessment that they're going to be seeing. We're also going to provide professional learning exemplars with student misconceptions. And now, strategies for achieving our math goals. We're going to be focusing on two things. We're going to be focusing on small group instruction and formative questioning. When it comes to small group instruction, our coordinators are working very closely with our instructional coaches to equip them and provide them tools so that teachers can track their students and their data so that they can differentiate the needs of the students and place them in small groups. When it comes to formative questioning, we're going to be equipping teachers with strategies for adjusting instruction using formative questioning. Understanding that when we're talking about formative questioning, we talk about 4 questions, and here are the 4 questions that we look at. What do we want all students to know and be able to do? How will we know if they've learned it? 3, how will we respond when students do not learn? And 4, how will we extend the learning for students who are already proficient? When we look at these questions, it helps us to plan for a better first teach, and it helps us to better facilitate Tier 2 interventions. We're also going to be using our interim assessment, and this will help us plan 4-star crunch plans for algebra, focusing on, again, applying formative questioning in their specific content areas. So, and to summarize, the mid-year academic review allows the district to identify areas of support needed by district leaders. The mid-year academic review also allows the campus administrators to identify classroom teacher needs. A special thanks to all of our principals who have been working very diligently in making sure that they're on target to make sure that they're on target for their campus performance objectives. And then also a big thanks to our classroom teachers who work very hard to ensure that they're providing quality first instruction to all of our students. At this time, I'd also like to thank the board and our superintendent, Ms. Nelson, for providing support to our district leaders, our campus administrators, classroom teachers, to ensure that our students have the resources needed for student success. And so with the continuation of identified support actions, the district is currently on track to meet the 23-24 performance objectives by the end of the school year. So this concludes our presentation for a mid-year review. Does the board have any questions at this time?
Look, thank you very much for all the hard work y'all do. This is a lot. and
Thank
We
you.
thank y'all for that.
I think just always let us know how we can make it better for you all, is all we would ask.
Yep, how we can help.
Thank you.
So I will say, board, we did include in your weekly last week all of the individual plans as well for each one of the campuses, and each one of our principals did go in, just like the district plan, they went in and did their own plan, their mid-year review, and then they also met and were reviewed by Dr. Martinez and Ms. Peltier, and they worked closely with them as well with our curriculum department. So thank you, Dr. Valdez, and all of you that put your time and effort into this, because it really continues to push the academics forward, and our students are reaping the benefits. So thank you. And thank you to professional learning as well for all the support there with the training and all.
All right, we have come to the open forum session. We are now in the open forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to address the board, you should have completed a public participation form and submitted it to the superintendent secretary prior to the meeting according to policy BED local. After I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and the purpose of addressing the board. Please understand that you will have 3 minutes to speak. Yet if 10 or more speakers have signed up to speak, the board president shall have the discretion to reduce the time limit to no less than 1 minute based on time constraints on the conduct of board business. If a translator is needed, you will be given 6 minutes to speak. I respectfully ask that you make no derogatory statements about any student or staff of Alvin ISD. I ask that you also understand that the board cannot take action on your requests or comments at this time. However, the president or designee may refer the request to the superintendent for review. And we have Stephen Bradford II. All right. Well, we will move on. Next, we go into consent agenda items. Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda items A through J?
So moved.
By trustee Harris, second by I'm sorry, by trustee Johnson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we go to request consider approval of purchase of hardware for smart ID badging for bus riders.
So Board, as part of the Alvin ISD Strategic Plan, Goal for Safety, Care, and Wellness, implementation of smart IDs for our bus riders is a step in the right direction. This is a purchase of the hardware to allow our Transportation Department to implement smart IDs for bus riders. It will allow the driver and the parents to know when a student gets on and off of the bus. It will allow parents the ability to see when their student's bus will be arriving as well.
All right, just a second. Sorry about that. I minimized my thing and I'm having to bring it back.
Real quick, this is just for
Can't find it
kids
now.
that are identified as,
Transportate bus riders.
All right, I have it. All right. Do we have a motion to approve the purchase of hardware for smart ID badging for bus riders?
So moved.
Trustee Johnson, a second by trustee Garza. Any questions or comments? All in,
I have a question. Is this going to be for every one of our buses? Is that's the yellow buses? Would that include the white fleet as well for like the students on athletic trips or something? Or is that just for the everyday
Just for the
transportation?
daily transportation.
any other questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of calling general trustee election and schedule election date.
So Board, the 2024 Board of Trustee election date is Saturday, May the 4th, 2024. Positions up for election are as follows. Position 1 is currently held by A.J. Johnson. Position 2 currently held by Corey Scott. And Position 3 currently held by Cheryl Harris.
All right, do we have a motion to approve calling of an election for May 4th, 2024 for trustees position 1, 2, and 3, and approve the election dates, times, and location?
So moved.
By trustee Garza, second by trustee Scott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of calling a special trustee election and schedule date for elections.
The 2024 Board of Trustee election date, again, is Saturday, May the 4th, 2024. Position up for election is as follows. Position 7, currently held by Gabe Garza. This is an unexpired term that will expire in 2026 due to the resignation of trustee Scheibel in 2023. The winner of the race will serve a 2-year term. This position requires the order for election to be posted as a special election since it is an unexpired term.
All right, do we have a motion approving calling a special election for May 4th, 2024 for trustee position 7 and approve the election dates and times and location?
So moved.
By trustee Harris, second by trustee Scott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of countywide joint election and approval of joint contract for election services.
Aboard the joint contract for election services with Brazoria County for conducting the May 4th, 2024 joint election is being presented for your consideration for approval. Alvin ISD has conducted its elections with the county for many years, and it has proven to be a very efficient process.
Do we have a motion to approve a countywide joint election to be conducted by Brazoria County?
so moved.
By trustee Johnson, the second by trustee Garza. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of employment of personnel.
So board attached are consideration for contracts, teacher positions.
All right, do we have a motion approval be granted for requested personnel items as presented? Trustee Scott, we have a second by Trustee Harris. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right. Next, we have request to consider approval of additional staffing positions, Bennett Elementary.
Board, we're asking for consideration for staffing positions for Bennett Elementary School that will open for the 2024 school year. It's a critical time to allow for the extensive planning and hiring needed to prepare for the addition of the new school. The total with benefits is $2,588,078.40. And that's based on this current year's salary schedule. So that number could increase should the salary schedule change for the next school year.
All right, do we have a motion approval be granted for additional staffing positions, Bennett Elementary School as requested?
So moved.
By Trustee Garza, second by Trustee Johnson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of additional staffing positions, Iowa Colony Junior High.
So Board, this is requesting staffing positions for Iowa Colony Junior High School, which will open in the fall of 2024. Again, it's a critical time for us with our planning and hiring needs to prepare for the school opening. Total benefits for the staffing positions is $4,418,146.80 based upon this year's salary schedule.
Do we have a motion to be approval be granted for initial staffing positions at Iowa Colony Junior High School as requested? By Trustee Scott, second by Trustee Johnson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of additional staffing positions, Iowa Colony High School.
So Board, as you know, next year we will be adding seniors or 12th graders to Iowa Colony High School. So again, we're asking for those positions ahead of time so that we can prepare for hiring of staff. The total benefits would be $1,889,085 based on this year's salary schedule.
There we go.
Do we have a motion approval be granted for initial staffing positions, Iowa Colony High School as requested? By Trustee Garza, we have a second by Trustee Harris. Any questions or comments?
Real quick, Superintendent Nelson. So we're staffing a full elementary, a full junior high, and then one class. So when does that recruiting or
Should y'all approve all of these, tomorrow HR will start posting those positions, and then those principals, because we named them last month, they can start working with HR to fill the positions, so.
An additional question about recruiting. Will Alvin ISD hold a recruiting fair this year? We usually do in the spring, I think, March, April, May?
Yes, April
Okay,
20th.
very good.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, next we have request to consider approval of principal for E.C. Mason Elementary.
So Board, last month, we approved or announced that our elementary principal of the year, Ms. Monique Gadsden, would be opening Barbara Bennett Elementary School, which created a vacancy at E.C. Mason Elementary. This evening, we are requesting your consideration for approval for Ms. Latassa Watts. She is currently serving as the assistant principal at Mary Merrick Elementary School, where Mr. Johnson's son attends, where she previously served 3 years as a literacy coordinator. She previously also served as an administrative intern, an ELA peer facilitator, and a teacher in surrounding districts of Pasadena and Fort Bend ISD, as well as an assistant principal and teacher in Manassas Park, Virginia. Latassa was selected as the 2010 Teacher of the Year at Jessup Elementary and Pasadena ISD. She has over 25 years of experience in education, 6 of those years here in Alvin ISD. Latassa received her bachelor's degree in health and physical education from Grambling State University, where Mr. Humberg's nephew was a kicker at one time,
Yep.
and her master's degree in educational leadership from Lamar University and master's degree in human performance from Texas Southern University. So the committee and myself are asking for consideration that the board approve Ms. Watts to lead the staff and students as principal of E.C. Mason Elementary School.
Do we have a motion to approve Latassa Watts as principal of E.C. Mason Elementary?
So moved.
Trustee Johnson, we have a second. By Trustee Scott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Stand up. Oh, there she is up here. So, Miss Watts, will you introduce your daughter that you brought, since your son's at A&M? Well, we're very blessed to have you, so thank you. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, next we have request to consider approval of Assistant Athletic Director, Head Football Coach for Shadow Creek High School.
So, Board, this evening, the committee is recommending Coach Tyrone Green. He's currently serving at Alvin ISD as the Assistant Head Football Coach and Junior High Liaison at Shadow Creek High School. He previously served 1 year at Manville High School as the Assistant Offensive Line Coach and Assistant Varsity Track Coach. Tyrone has also served HISD for 12 years as the Varsity Offensive Line Coordinator and the Varsity Track Coach. In 2023-24, he was named the Houston Texans Coach of the Week. Tyrone has 21 years' experience in education, 8 of those here with Alvin ISD, all at Shadow Creek High School. He was there when the school opened and the program started. Tyrone received his bachelor's degree in sociology from the University of Houston, and he played football there and on the line, and his master's in administration from Stephen F. Austin University. So we're asking consideration that the board consider approving Coach Green to lead the staff and students as Assistant Athletic Director, Head Coach of Shadow Creek High School.
All right, do we have a motion to approve Coach Tyrone Green as Assistant Athletic Director, Head Coach, Shadow Creek High School?
So moved.
Trustee Harris, do we have a second? By Trustee Scott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
So Coach Green, you brought a lot of people this evening.
We have
I think he had a
time.
classroom back here. He was already teaching the plays in the room back here. Can you introduce your family that you brought with you this evening?
Well, here's my coaching.
Yes.
That's right.
All the guys that is the reason I'm standing here is because of these guys here. And this is my immediate family. I have my sister, who is a counselor in Nichols Mock. And I have my niece here, Java. I have my father-in-law here, and my mother-in-law is with my 1-year-old son right now, Kason. And I have my son here, Kaden. You say hi, Kaden. And I have my backbone, my support, my wife, Brittany. So, I'm truly blessed. First, I want to thank God. Without him, I'm nothing.
Absolutely.
And I'm very honored and pleased to be able to serve Shadow Creek community, to serve the Alvin ISD students. This is something that I will not take lightly. All right, I will not take it lightly. And I just thank y'all for this opportunity. And just remember FINS, family, integrity, next level instruction. All right, remember that.
Thank you, Coach Green. when we interviewed Monday morning, Coach Green, what was the first thing I did? I apologized, right? He walked in and he's like, what are you apologizing for? I said, an interview at 9 a.m. the day after the Super Bowl. Not a good thing. And then he said, Miss Nelson, I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. I already had to go to bed. He said it was an early night. So congratulations, Coach Green. We know you and your staff are going to do great things at Shadow Creek and follow in the legacy that y'all have set there. So thank you.
All right, at this time, we will now adjourn the executive session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Opens Meeting Act, 551071 and 551.129.
So those of you that were named, make sure you come up. They're going to want to take pictures for our social media. that says, like, the vote, where's, is it on his computer? But that's what we went into, right? Oh, right here. Okay, but that, okay, that's closed. Here, this is open session. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, this what I'm gonna read for what we're getting approval on?
As discussed in closed, as discussed in closed session. See, here was the closed session we went into. That's what you read. Now we're back in open session. So we wanna take action as discussed in closed session.
Okay. We are now back in open session. And at this time, we want to take action on the matter that is discussed in closed session. Do we have a motion to approve those actions that we have discussed? By trustee Scott, do we have a second? By trustee Johnson, any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this point, I make a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? By trustee Garza. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried 5-0. We are adjourned.